Hi you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kayla Lachey and I'm coming at you guys with a hair video. I don't know what it is, but I am just obsessed with my natural hair and just talking about natural hair. I feel like for so long on YouTube I would just see videos of girls talking about how to lay a lace front, how to melt that lace, and no one was really talking about natural hair care and how to grow your hair longer than a wig. Baby, that is why I'm here, to document my own natural hair journey. So when I started my natural hair journey, you know, when I was doing the whole transition thing, I didn't know anything about my natural hair. So I literally had to Google everything. And in my Google searches, I definitely came across, you know, finding your hair type and what different things meant. Like, what is porosity? What is your hair density? What is your hair texture? What is your curl pattern? Girl, there is so much knowledge when it comes to natural hair that we all have different natural hair. It's not cookie cutter and it's also unique. And it's honestly so fascinating to me that you could have a girl that has curls that might look the same shape as mine, but we could have completely different porosity and different textures and a mix of different curl patterns. So our hair could in turn respond differently to different methods of product application, and I don't know, girl, just the list goes on. So hopefully my goal by the end of this video is to help you girls figure out your hair type. And it'd be really cool if you guys would comment that in the description or the comments below. So we're going to do a few different tests and I'm going to share all things about our hair. So let's start with the porosity test. For this, you're just going to need a glass of water and a strand of your hair. So yes, I pulled out a strand of my hair and we're going to test my hair porosity. I've never actually tested my porosity, so I think this will be very fascinating to do it for the first time with you guys, and we can confirm that I think that my hair is high porosity. So first off, what is your hair porosity? I know we hear this a lot. It's on labels of hair products, and that's also very helpful too if you're shopping for new products. But people that have different hair porosity need to do a different routine because our hair absorbs products completely different. So porosity is essentially just your hair's way of absorbing moisture. And I know for me, I'm pretty sure, we'll find out in a second, that I have high porosity hair because my hair will react really fast to the humid climate that I live in. So my hair will poof up really easily. And whenever I go and shower and wet my hair for the first time, my hair absorbs the water so quickly. So if you are a girly that has low porosity hair, you might find that it's hard for your hair to get moisture through the products that you use. You might also find that when you go to wet your hair in the shower, that you might see the water balling up, like just sitting on top of your hair without penetrating the hair. That's a tell sign that you have low porosity. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you need to do your routine a little bit different. So I have my hair here. There's like gel on it. I don't know if my hair should be clean or not, but here it is. Let's put you against a white background and maybe this will help. Y'all see my hair in there? That is disgusting. So it's said that if your hair floats, you have low porosity, and if it sinks, then you have high porosity. Not the FedEx man outside with my package. My hair is not freshly washed, so it has a whole lot of gel in it, so I'm not really sure. I am going to do a proper porosity test because after reading and researching, the whole drop your hair in a glass of water is not the most accurate test. I already know how my hair responds in the shower, and my hair is high porosity, but I just want to show you guys how you can test it at home if you're not sure what I mean. So sorry I look like a bum. I was about to edit this video and I was like, wait, we forgot to do the proper test. So I'm just going to grab my spray bottle with some water. I'm gonna get super close so you guys can see. I'm just gonna spritz my hair, and basically if you have low porosity, the hair will take a minute to kind of absorb the water. If you have high porosity, your hair is super susceptible to absorbing the moisture. So let me put a little extra water in here. It's super easy test, but there are other methods that you can do. Like I said, I think you'll be able to feel in the shower a lot better when you put your whole head underneath the, not a faucet, is it a faucet? Shower head. Okay, I just sprayed my hair a whole bunch, and you can kind of see some of like the water sitting on top, but it absorbs super easily. See that? It's not sitting on top of the surface. So that would mean that I have high porosity hair. Oh, not me being so close. See, this is why we need to be testing our hair, because we might think we have a certain hair type, but it might turn out that we have a different hair type. Let's talk about the hair texture, because every girl has different texture. You could have fine hair, you could have medium hair, and you could have coarse hair. I feel like I've had coarse hair and I actually have fine hair, because when I was relaxed, my hair was so coarse, and when I went natural, my hair is so fine. So to test this, all you have to do is take a strand of your hair. You don't need to pull it out your head, honey, like the first test, and run your fingers down the strand. If it feels like smooth and you don't really feel like the hair, you have fine hair. If it feels like you can feel a little bit of the hair, then you have like a medium texture. And if you can really feel the hair, then you have coarse hair. Also, to test your hair type, you can have thick hair, you could have thin hair. So thick hair is when you can't really see your scalp, okay? Like, I have super thick hair, girl. Scalp wear. I mean, around here you can see my edges, you know. I be putting a lot of edge control, but I have super dense hair, very thick. The strands are very closely placed together, versus having thin hair. If you just pull your hair, let's say in like a ponytail, and you can see your scalp, you have thin hair. Now, this is not to be confused with having fine hair. Thin hair is not the same as having fine hair. Thin hair means that applies to your hair density, whereas fine hair applies to your hair texture. Because you could have 4C hair and have coarse hair, but you could also have thin hair at the same time. And you could be someone like me that has fine hair but have super thick hair. So they're not the same. They're very, 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 very different. And this is super important to know, because it will kind of help you figure out what products to use. So I, having fine hair, prefer products that are like a cream or something that is lightweight, water-based, versus having something thick like a butter, or like Miss Jessie's does like a honey curl cream. That's so thick, it weighs my curls down and doesn't make them look bouncy and as fluffy as using something lighter. So knowing what your hair texture is and your density can really help you know how much product to use in your hair. If you have super thin hair, you don't need to use as much product as someone like me that has really thick hair, because you don't have as much on your head. So that could also weigh your hair down if you're using the same amount of product that I use and you happen to have super thin hair. So these are just little things that can really help assist you on picking out products and the application of the product. Y'all see this? This irritates me. This is the curl typing chart. This is supposed to help us figure out what our curl pattern is, and there's a lot of like, I don't know, controversy with it. Because I feel like my curls aren't even represented in this chart. So let me just go over the hair typing chart. I don't really want to get into type 1 hair, because baby, this is natural hair. So type 1 is you have straight hair. The type 2 category is like you have wavy hair. So that goes to type 2A, 2B, and 2C, going from least amount of wave, like a bump, to a nice little wave. And then we get to type 3 hair, which I'm pretty sure I fall into the type 3 category. 3A is like a wave, but you also have a little bit of a curl. Okay, very loose, but still considered curly. You have type 3B hair, which they say is about the circumference of sidewalk chalk. That's like the circumference of your curls. And then we have type 3C hair, which is supposed to be the circumference of a wine corkscrew. Okay, So I believe that I'm supposed to fall. I say this, but we're all so unique and our hair is so different. Like, what the heck? Whoever made this, use a lie. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to talk about 3B and 3C because that's what I feel like I have. In my crown area, it is a completely different texture than the rest of my hair. I would consider the texture to be like a medium texture. It's not fine and it's not coarse. It's literally in between. And there is almost like a 2C. It's very loose and like a wave, but the majority of my hair is a mix of 3B and 3C. So you see how this chart, it's displaying the curl as being like this. My curls don't do that. My curls are more of like an S shape. And the S shape is like, I would say the circumference of like a 3B, which is why I consider my hair to be 3B. It's like a 2C. You see that like loose S shape, but it's like the circumference of 3B and 3C mixed. Like, it's a very weird thing to describe. So when I'm looking at my hair, I'm like, well, my hair doesn't fall into this curl pattern chart. What the heck's going on? Unless I really go in and define it with finger coiling it, or I use something like a Denman brush to really define it. But when I'm out of the shower and it's freshly detangled, my hair is giving S shape. So yeah, I don't really believe in this curl typing chart. However, it could be a good guideline for you to figure out whatever pattern you have. However, I also believe that this doesn't really do much for you. It doesn't do as much as knowing your hair porosity, knowing your hair texture, knowing your hair density, because that's how our hair really responds to products. I feel like if you have a tighter curl, let's say like even me, like a 3B to 4C, our hair is more fragile. It's also drier because it takes longer for our natural oils to curl down to our ends. So that it would be very helpful to know versus like, you know, straight hair to the wavy hair. Your hair probably gets oily a lot quicker, whereas natural hair on the end of the chart, we have to do more deep conditioning and oil treatments and scalp treatments and all of that kind of stuff. So in that aspect, sure, it's great to know your curl pattern. For me, like I said, I don't really feel like my curls fall into this, and also I feel like a lot of us curly girls have multiple curl patterns. We're not just gonna have one pattern. However, you could. For me, that's just not the case. I feel like it's a lot looser in certain areas of my head, like I mentioned, compared to other areas. So let me know how you guys feel about this curl typing chart. I will throw a picture of my hair up on the screen so you could see what I mean with my curls. They're just all over the place. When I look at this, like even in one clump of curls, first of all, I do prayer hands method, so I don't really be defining. Baby, it could be an S shape and then it could go into a corkscrew. Like, it's very unique, and embrace that. It doesn't matter if you have 2C hair. Well, let me stop talking about the type 2 and the type 1 because we're really over here on this end. It doesn't matter if you have 3B hair, if you have 4C hair. I feel like all hair pattern, curl patterns are beautiful. I feel like the tighter coils of like a 4C, you have the curls, it's just they're tighter knit together. And let me just say, shrinkage is a lie. You're gonna get more shrinkage over here with like the type 4 than you will with a type 3. That's also something to note. And there's nothing wrong with having shrinkage. I think it is a beautiful thing because it tells you that your hair is healthy. If you have shrinkage, that means your curls are alive. There's like, I'm getting chills talking about this. No one wants to have like dead, frail curls that aren't even moving and they're lifeless. I've had that when I was transitioning and it was ugly. So if you have shrinkage, embrace that shrinkage and know that that's just a really good sign that your hair is thriving, it's healthy, and it's not dead. So embrace the shrinkage. I know I get a lot of shrinkage with my curls, and the longer that my hair is growing out, I am noticing that my curl pattern looks a little bit looser as well, and that's just because your hair has more weight on it, especially when it's wet. you have all that water, that moisture that's locked into your hair. It's going to be weighed down. You're using more product. It's going to be weighed down, and your hair is growing. You're going to have more weight on those strands, that the curls aren't going to be as bouncy and as quick to kind of spring up. So don't be alarmed if your hair is growing longer and you're noticing that your curl pattern might be looking a little looser. It's totally fine. It's totally natural. So I just wanted to really touch on this curl typing chart and how I really feel about it, and how your curl, whatever type you fall into, doesn't mean that you have more beautiful curls than the next girl, because that's not the case at all. You could have 3B hair and everyone's like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with 3B, but your hair has heat damage. Does that mean that it's more beautiful than a healthy head of 4C? Absolutely not. So it does not matter, whatever curl pattern that you have. And if you're like me and you have a mix, or you don't even feel like you fall under that specific category, you are always going to learn things about your hair, and it's a life journey. I feel like I'm always going to learn different methods, different product orders, and things that don't necessarily work well with my type of hair. So let me know in the comments below if you girlies found this video helpful. Did you learn something new about your hair after watching this? Did you even know about hair typing and where you even fell into it, or do you not even care? Let me know what you guys think, and if this is helpful, let me know. I really want to do more like natural hair videos. Like I said, like I feel like a lot of girls don't really talk about it, or maybe it's just the videos that I'm watching, but I do notice now a lot of the girls that I started watching before I did my big chop, that kind of motivated me to big chop because they did their big chop, aren't even doing the natural hair thing anymore. But I feel like that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. So I just kind of want to bring life into our curls and our natural hair, and just talking about ways that we can show it some love and care for it, and tips and knowledge that has really been beneficial to me on my own journey, and new things that I'm learning that I want to share and bring to my channel. So let me know if you girls would be interested in that, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!